Hi everyone, my name is Jeremy Alessi and I'm the founder of Coinpuck. Today I just wanted to give you a quick run of our dashboard. So you can take a look here and see that I have 4 positions. I call these the Coinbase Quartet. We've got Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash listed in the table below. As you can see here, Ethereum has some gold buttons and it's the top, it's sort of the top row in the table. And you'll see here that the status says sell. So this is the position I'm currently in. And what this table means is that I am looking to get into either Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Bitcoin Cash at my last holding plus 1% on each of these positions. So essentially, these are like high scores. That's what I've owned in the past. And because the cryptocurrency market is volatile, it's not rare that these things will swing back and forth, that the value of one will go way up or the value of the other will go way down, opening up the opportunity for me to acquire more of the market. And if you view the cryptocurrency market as a technology adoption, like PCs, the internet, or smartphones before it, then there is going to be a growth period. And at the end of that growth period, we'll probably see a lot of the volatility that's in the market right now subside, and things will become more stable, and these will actually become used as daily currencies. But in the meantime, there's a lot of money to be made by trading on volatility. If you look at our About page, the analogy you'll see is if you had purchased Apple or Amazon stock in 2008, you'd be pretty happy now in 2018. The only way you might be more happy is if you had traded back and forth between those two stocks on volatility, each time increasing your hold on those stocks. And so that's what we are looking to do here. So one of the things that I want to point out is the shift button here, which isn't covered in our other tutorial video. A shift is essentially if you want to force a trade from one of these positions to the other. And so, for example, if I decided, you know what, right now, Ethereum's in a bear market, and I just can't hold any longer. I want to get out. I just have lost faith, say, in Ethereum. I have not, but let's say I did. I could click on the shift button, say, for Bitcoin, and you can see here it says update holding for Bitcoin, and this is essentially the same thing that happens when you get that email notification. You might snooze your alerts, go to Jack's wallet, make the trade, come back to Coinpuck, and you would update your holding. So I'm not going to actually click this right now, but if I were, I would click whatever new amount of Bitcoin I owned according to Jack's wallet at the moment, and look, we're going to be replacing the Jack's wallet side or piece of this equation very soon with a custom automated wallet. So that's something to look out for, and soon you'll just get a report from Coinpuck. But if I did that, I'm going to go back to the dashboard. I actually don't want to do that. It would do a couple of things. It would force a trade. It would actually switch Bitcoin to the sell position. I can actually click this here and show you, oh, look, Bitcoin is a sell position. And it would also remove any snooze alerts or any snooze that were on my alerts. But it would log that in my trade table here, my trade report. So that would be if you wanted to force it, even without an alert or a notification from Coinpuck saying that this, that the rates had shifted in your direction. That's if you just wanted to get out of it. So let's take a look at the add functionality. Let's say I want to add basic attention token, say BAT. Now, I've never held it before, so I'm just not going to enter that, or I could enter 0, or I could just enter nothing there. And I'm going to enter a ridiculous gain goal, say 50%, and add that. So now you can see here, I have added basic attention token to the table. You see basic attention token. I've never held it before, and I want a 50% gain goal. So now what this means is that I do not want to trade, or in the current beta, I do not want to be notified by Coinpuck until I can have whatever the market rate of basic attention token is right now when I entered it, plus an additional 50%. So on the back end, Coinpuck is going to find this basic attention token with a 0 holding, and it's going to update that to whatever the current market rate would have been for my Ethereum. So my 141 Ethereum would have purchased, let's see, 3,310 basic attention token. And so with a 50% gain goal, I would not receive a notification from Coinpuck until I could have 4,965 basic attention token. And so it's a pretty safe bet. I don't imagine that's going to happen too soon, but we will see. Um, Now, a couple of other pieces of functionality here. I can always switch and sort of force any of these others from a buy position to a sell position if for some reason I wanted to make some, just adjustments, not using the typical trading system, which is basically, if I don't want to use the typical alert system, I should say, there's emails that alert you that a potential trade is there for you to make. I could click buy and switch that, and that becomes all of a sudden my sell position. These are essentially toggles. And of course I can always go in and edit and say, I actually want to change this. I could change my gain goal, say down to 10% or 1%, whatever the case may be. And you'll see now basic attention tokens at 10%. And we covered the shift button just a few minutes ago. I could also just delete this. To tell you the truth, I'm not that interested in basic attention token right now. It's something I've been keeping my eye on, but I don't want to trade it in the near term, so I'm just going to delete that position. So let's jump in and cover the historical report real quick also. This is something that I have presented live to a few audiences, sort of little startup nights and things like that. And I want to just explain it here real quick. So first of all, I want you to ignore anything from EOS on up to GUP. I decided that I was trading EOS, and I personally couldn't hodl EOS. I just really am not sure about the coin. You need to make your own decisions about which coins you trade, and not consider any of what you see, what I'm doing as financial advice. But that was just my personal feeling on that, and I wanted to get out of it, and I actually took a little bit of a bath on that. But in the beginning, you can see that I started with 1 Bitcoin Cash, and I increased myself to 1.01 Bitcoin Cash, and then I actually increased to 1.018 Bitcoin Cash. And this is what Coinpuck is designed to do. It's designed to allow me to take advantage of volatility to increase the amount of cryptocurrency that I own. And as long as I'm doing that with coins that I believe are going to rise with the tide and not all of a sudden develop a hole and sink, then this should be a reasonable strategy to take advantage of the growing market segment that is cryptocurrency. Now, I got into this EOS debacle and got out of it, say right here. I actually merged accounts. I had another account where I was trading some what I considered riskier coins, and I decided to stop that and merge. Now you can see I got in at 1.34 Ethereum, and I increased to 1.36, and then I went to 1.38, and then I went to 1.41. Now at the same time, every single time I get in and out of a cryptocurrency, and again, this is all beta software, and none of this should be considered as financial advice. I believe in the near term we're actually going to make this table editable, and it should just be a tool for you to try to help you keep track of what you're doing. But yeah, we are not at the point yet where this can be considered financial advice. So I want you to take a look though at taxable gains here. You can see things are rising right here. And really, this is just a result of the market itself rising. You can see when I got in, the market was at 421 billion. It went up to 480 billion. And then all the way down here at the bottom, you can see the market's come way down. So it's come down to 368 billion. And so, by and large, my taxable gains are hooked to the way this market is moving. So the market itself is a whole bubble that's shifting up and down, and each of the cryptos inside it, the way that I like to visualize it, are almost like little convection currents that are moving inside of that bubble. But interestingly enough, you can see that, say here where I started with 1.34 Ethereum and I moved up to 1.41, that's an increase of 0.05 Ethereum. Now, that doesn't sound like much. At the moment, that increase over buy and hold is, Ethereum's at $550 or something like that. That's an increase of $27.50. Not a whole lot. Now, if Ethereum follows the path of Bitcoin, which it has done arguably over the past year, when you look at it, and when I got into Ethereum last year, I thought, wow, this would be great if Ethereum just rose to $1,000 like Bitcoin. This would be amazing, because at the time, I think last year, Ethereum was in the somewhere between $30 and $100 or something like that. But let's say Ethereum goes up to $14,000. I think Ethereum sort of capped out over the past 3 or 4 months at $1,400 or $1,500. Let's say it goes from 1,500 to 15,000, just for example. And since Bitcoin's already done that, there's precedent for a coin reaching that level. I think there's some other specifics where that may not be possible, but just for our example. Now, if I multiply by 0.05, you can see that 0.05 Bitcoin Ethereum jump from there to there. In the future, if Ethereum is worth that much, that's worth $750. So essentially, with Coinpuck, we are just presenting something that offers a strategy, a simple and reliable strategy to increasing over a buy and hold. A buy and hold strategy is what a lot of people champion. They say, time in the market is better than timing the market. And I think that, at this point in time, that may still be very true. But there's certainly things that you can do to increase over a buy and hold. And I think one of the simple things is, in a growing market segment like cryptocurrency, you can use market volatility on coins, and you're going to have to pair them well still. With Coinpuck, you don't have to stare at the screen all day long trading, but you still want to pick coins that you believe in, things that you can especially hodl through when there's a downturn or whatnot. But you can see from this though that it's just a simple way to have a machine watch the market for you and inform you every time you can actually step yourself forward and up in a cryptocurrency that you believe in. So jump back here to the dashboard real quick. I think at this time, that's all I really wanted to explain. I've done a couple of live presentations, and I noticed that those went over a lot better than the video that we have, or some of the things that we've put out on Twitter. So hopefully this answers some questions and can help people to use the system better. Of course, please send us an email. You can send an email to invest@coinpuck.com, or get with us on Twitter or Facebook if you have any questions and want to know more about the system. It is very early days. We're constantly improving it, and of course, your feedback will be, I think, instrumental in us making the best product possible. So, thank you for watching, and please get in touch, share your thoughts. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.